I fast twice a week, and I give a tenth of all that I get. Can I help you now? This brother has the wrong perspective. Let me give you 3 reasons under the wrong perspective, then I give you 2 reasons under the right perspective. The reason he's got the wrong perspective of this whole thing is that he's got a comparative righteousness. Compare. You know how it is, young folk. You've been in, they tell you that a teacher will give you a comparative essay. You got to compare 2 things. The problem with this brother is he compares himself to somebody else. Now, he's comparing it to the wrong thing. It's all right to compare, but you just got to make sure you make the right comparison. If you're going to compare righteousness, your righteousness, you got to compare it to the person who is righteous and then kind of look at it from that perspective. You're not to compare yourself with other people and then make a determination on your righteousness based on how you look in comparison to somebody else. No, you ought to take yourself and compare it to Jesus the Christ and see, do you love your enemies all the time? Do you love your neighbor? And look at him. Do you die for somebody? Look, compare yourself to his righteousness. The problem with this brother is he looked at everybody else at his level and said, look at me and look at them. And by looking at them and looking at himself, he began to inflate his ego and decide, I am righteous not based on the righteous standards of God, not based on God declaring I'm righteous, but I'm basing my righteousness based on the fact that I look better than everybody else in this room. And he took a level of pride, and hey, baby, that is the wrong perspective. I don't care how better you think you look than everybody else. I don't care how much more you think you have than everybody else. I don't care. Look, you compare yourself to everybody. There's always somebody that does it better. There's always somebody that dots more I's and cross more T's. There's always somebody that looks better than you when they do it. It's always somebody that can do it 10 times better than you and look better at it than you ever will look at it. You better stop comparing yourself to anybody and looking down on them because you think you're better than them. And the truth be told, the only reason you're looking down on them is because you're probably too old to do what they do now. He had a comparative righteousness. And then he had what we call a moral righteousness. He said, I'm not like them because I don't rob, I don't do evil, and I'm not an adulterer. He's basing his moral, he's saying, I feel righteous because I don't do this stuff anymore. Ain't nobody checking for you with that stuff no more. Ain't nobody calling your name. Ain't nobody wants your number no more. That's why you're not in trouble no more. Ain't nobody asking you to hang out at the club. You look stupid at the club. Now anyway, ain't nobody asking you to go raw with. You too slow and you're not going to be able to drive the getaway car fast enough. Ain't nobody checking for you on that stuff. He looks at some stuff that are easy things for him not to get involved in and makes a decision. I'm righteous because I don't do that. I don't do this. But those things are easy for you not to do. Let's be honest, most of us don't get into that much trouble, and when we got into that much trouble, we weren't doing everything under the sun. There was a whole lot of, if you were robbing, you might not have been getting high. If you were getting high, you might not have been sleeping around. There's a whole lot, but don't think because there's some stuff you don't do that somehow that makes you better than the folk that are still out there doing it. Don't even get it twisted like that. You just can't. You're not that fast anymore. You're not that quick anymore. You're not that cute anymore. That's why you're not doing it anymore. And you got to be careful. You think you're better than somebody else because you're not doing the stuff they are doing. And then he had a religious righteousness. Uh-oh. He had what I call a cultural Christianity. A cultural Christianity is not that I'm really a believer. It's just that I've been in the Christian culture so long. I've got the traits and the activities and the rituals down. This is a problem oftentimes you have with people who grow up in the church. They've grown up in the culture so long, they've got the religious activities down, but don't have the right spirit in their heart. And there's a whole lot of folk that think because they're busy in church, doing, that somehow the doing is the same thing as the being. I can do, but that doesn't always mean I am. Let me help you. I can sing the songs, but that doesn't mean that I live the song. I can dance to the religious beat, but that doesn't mean that I live to the religious beat. Okay, y'all not listening. I can quote the scriptures. That doesn't mean I live the scriptures. Because being around the culture of church, let me talk to young people. Just because you're in here doesn't mean you are where you need to be. Being in the building is not the same thing as walking in him daily. And oftentimes you see issues in the church with church people because we're doing and not being. So we can do the religious activity but not have the heart work that needs to come with that. He says, I fast twice a week. Well, he skipped lunch anyway. You know what I'm saying? Some folk can do that. Amen. Now, I got to have my sustenance. I got to eat. Look at me. I got to eat. Fasting would be an issue for me, but some folk, they skip lunch. They go 6-7 hours I eat. Think nothing of it. He said, I fast twice a week. So? He said, and I give a tenth. Well, you got the money to do that. It's no issue with you. Ain't no struggle that you. Some people can't give a whole lot more than others simply because they have a whole lot. Bread costs the same for everybody. If all I got is $10 and you got $100, I still got to pay $2, $3 for bread. You're going to have some money left over. I'm not. So what he does is he highlights stuff that he don't do anymore, probably because he can't get away with no more anyway. Then he highlights stuff that he does because that's easy for him to do. And so when he has a comparative righteousness, I'm better than them. A moral righteousness, I don't do those things. A religious righteousness, I do these religious activities. I fast and I give. Now, check me out. There's nothing wrong with having good behavior. Matter of fact, you ought to have good behavior. There's nothing wrong with certain religious activities. Matter of fact, you need to be involved as much as you can. But those are not the things that get you right with God.